stereo headphones required, or at least really good separation on your stereo system. Thanks. So, each of us, I guess we discussed this already, has our own edifice, our own collection of rocks.
Logos. The edifice
They
of
come in
ideas
different shapes.
that structures
Some
our
of them may
reality.
have similarities.
It's
And
different
in
for
fact,
each
I
of
think
us.
we would find some general similarities. Maybe between personality types.
We define
because
our
of
words
roles in
differently.
Society, maybe because of our education. But that you can
When we
find
say something,
generalities. Some of our ideas are
there is no
spread
way
out, some of them more vertical.
another
Some of
person,
our
regardless of their
edifice is more
intimacy,
contradictory than others. Some of them fit
can
together
fully comprehend
all in nice
all
shapes. But each of them
of the ideas
different.
we talk about.
And
The discussion of definitions, relationships,
I think we make a lot of the differences in cultures.
qualifications.
But I know that for a
For
fact,
any
even
word.
within my own culture, I feel like I'm an outsider in terms of my ideas. And I find very few people that
can go on forever. But the person
really
listening
relate
and the
closely
person
to
talking
how I feel
will have a
how
different
we're
relationship with
together.
these things. There is no way for two people to understand these things the same way.
I feel like my own edifice, that from the inside it looks like it's a nice cohesive mass.
We do not live in the
That
same
it has
realities.
Lots of structure to it. But I know for a fact that I'm just fooling myself. Some people have edifices that
Each
have
of
been
us
put together
represents a different world.
by religious groups. And they see the cohesion of these ideas as
Our worlds
if
might cross,
this is the only
and they
reality.
might intersect in
That this is
places.
the only idea.
But they never intersect entirely.
That this is the only way things can be
And
because
they
theirs
cross often
fits
at
together
right angles
in
or
their
at
head
angles
better
to
than
each
anybody
other.
else's.
We don't see things the same as each other.
We can't possibly see things the same as each other. And even if we could, but when you're looking at, say, a rock, just the different histories that each of us have, you can't really
Give
say
our
which
ideas
side
a
of the
different
rock is the right
context.
side and which side is the wrong.
So
And
even if we are looking at the same
you have
body
no
of
idea what the
knowledge, the
backside
same
looks like.
planet,
The same ideas. If we read the same books,
you have no idea what
use
the
the
inside
same
looks
words,
like.
you may have no idea
They're
what it
always
looks like through a
different.
microscope.
And
Discussions of these
The
things,
different
spectrum,
are
looking
meant
at
to
it,
bring us closer.
but the rock to having the same understandings.
It's still
But
the
those
rock,
understandings
but you can't know it.
are never the same.
You can't
We each
possibly
drive
know
along in our own little vehicles.
it. There is no way to comprehend its totality. And if you just start with the idea that between
Occasionally we
any
can roll
2
down the
points,
windows
infinite others,
and yell at the other person.
nothing that you look at But most of the
no
time,
ideas that you have
we drive around with the windows rolled up.
compare the totality of what you
And
see.
the other people never really hear that much.
The totality of what there is. Excuse me. What you see, what you understand is necessarily such a small subset of reality that you should feel humbled by your ignorance.
Art. I think that there really is.
If we did, then society will just fall apart.
There.
But I think there's just a little bit too much pedigree in this notion of artist.
Submit them to scholarly
That
journals.
it doesn't take a bunch of pretty pictures of
Money is
flowers.
just one good measure of it.
It doesn't take a bunch of lofty
So,
ideas.
come on, give me a break.
When we look at the artifacts
Should
of
we
man,
really
look
be
into
doing
them.
this?
We look right into men.
What it takes is
Women.
people to look at things.
When we look into artifacts, what we're seeing is we're seeing a window,
try,
a language
find meaning
that
in
speaks from the mind
Give
of
me a break.
others.
Nobody's interested.
In that way, it's
in
no
Meaning
different
could
than
be
verbal
religious.
languages. Verbal
Seems
languages
that the
are
meaning in art
really
was religious, almost
the same.
exclusively religious.
You'd think
For
from
a
our
long
public
time.
just
Yeah,
ways to get
I-
consensus.
we were all believers, and that we all believed in the same
Many
thing.
others.
How can someone spend
the workings
3
behind
weeks
histories.
editing a videotape on styrofoam
There
cups
are
and
the
feel
people
like
who
they're
don't
doing
believe.
something worthwhile?
Are they able to express their
But even
opinions?
then,
Maybe they should be doing medical research, saving lives.
the art talked
You know,
about when you listen to
cultures
Helping
Someone
write an
speaking
episode
another
of
language
Homer
that don't
Simpson.
understand,
Invisible, huh?
often without
If we were
much knowledge of the
invisible, we'd be
language,
got
you
out
can
of
get a sense of what it is they're trying to say. You can get a sense of the emotional content. You can read the subtext. And
The
it
fact
is
that
the
we require
subtext.
belief.
The subtext in everything that's most important. Talk to an actor. It's not the text that drives them. It's the subtext. What's happening underneath
even
the words.
today, art that's several hundred years old.
When you look at a
1,000 years
painting, it
old,
doesn't matter
that's how
that
you
it's a
feel about
dog.
it.
It
Everything
doesn't
should
matter
have
that it's
religion.
mountains.
Go for it.
It's
They
the
have
emotions
feelings
that these
about the
things
subject.
carry. It
Separate.
is the
That's
sub-message,
religious meaning.
the subtext.
This doesn't show any.
It's the stuff
This
that
shows
comes
dogma
out from
that's
inside,
enforced.
from your unconscious, and transfers itself.
Hopefully, people will be able to look
The
at the
conscious
cups.
ideas are almost always,
I can hardly
almost
listen
always
to
the
it.
dry
part of
ones,
the
the ones that
21st
are
century.
He just goes
obvious.
on and on and on.
Plates. He's droning about these styrofoam
Just
cups.
dogma.
The why
Thinks
bother
I'm going to
ideas.
listen to it.
able
for
to
that long.
understand
You know,
what's
he's
another
crazy. I can't
beautiful
even
tree.
look at the TV anymore.
Another
Today.
beautiful mountain.
And to look at
Why are they
He just
beautiful?
keeps
Why does the
going at
artist
it. There he
feel
is.
beautiful?
Oh,
How does the artist feel about
to
it?
reflect
What
back
kind of
their own ideas?
person
and
is this
thoughts.
person that painted these things? Much more important, much more meaning.
Ferguson, new teacher.